What's up, everybody? Welcome to River City Bricks. My name is Brandon, and today we are with the Luigi Kart Mach 8. I am super excited to bring this set to you all and give you guys a review about the Mach 8. Now, this all started just a short year ago with the Mario Standard Kart. I would never have thought that they would make a Lego large model of one of our Mario Karts of any character, and they did with Mario. And I thought that was a really, really great idea. I loved that standard kart set so much. I actually bought the Wicked Bricks Rainbow Road limited edition case that took a few weeks to get here, well, about a month and a half from over the pond, thinking that that's all that it's ever going to be is that one Lego set, and then we were going to get back into other things. Because with adult Nintendo, they've been on a roll since I believe 2020 with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the question mark block, Bowser, Piranha Plant, and then the Mario and Yoshi set, and then after that it kind of all blends in. And then here we are. After a very distracted first half of the year, I still tune into the LEGO releases. I have to be very careful with what I pick to make a video with you guys. And then I saw that they teased this cart alongside of Mario's Standard Kart, and I was like, are they really going to do it? And then it wasn't more than a few weeks later they actually unveiled the set, and I was like, dang. If I would have known, I likely would not have got the Wicked Bricks case for the Standard Kart from Mario, because with me being a completionist, that kind of makes me feel like I have to get the limited edition Wicked Bricks case for this guy. I paid $180 for this set, and with that alone, and space too, mind you, it's just not worth me buying another case from over the pond that costs as much as the set does. Rainbow Road with Mario and the Standard Kart, I think, was the best that you can actually get as a combination. This limited edition case is more like the Haunted House, and I think I can really live without it. But what I cannot live without is getting Mario's brother in an additional Mario Kart, and that is what we have here today. Like I said, guys, there are some sets now that you just have to make it work financially just to get a copy of, and I really feel like LEGO's making it easy this year to kind of pick these sets out. I will say it is May the 1st, and there was two that came out today that is really mouth-watering. I was only able to pick up one of those, and that's going to be our next video. Mind you, I still got a backlog down here that I have to build, but you know what, guys? We're getting back on our feet, and we're getting to it. Let's talk about this Mach 8, and let's go over this box and all of that. So the first thing you notice about this box is it's a little dirty, and it's a little crushed. Well, the dirt's my bad. I have had this for a month as of today, floating around the studio, trying to get time to make a video on. If you guys have not watched my prior videos, I've been going through a lot of stuff lately, and so it's just not been something that's super easy to pick up the camera and do. But we're doing better with our time and our open availability, and so thus, here we are. But the cracks in the box, they're actually from shipping. This set actually got to me really, really fast, which I find super ironic. It's like when you want to do a Lego review video, it takes a week to 10 days to get the Lego set to your house. But when you have all the time in the world to eventually get to it, they'll ship it super fast and crush the box. Awesome job. I believe that this was shipped by On Track, and that's probably just what they're known for, besides late arrival times. Anyway, minus the damage and the dirt, it's very clear to see that this is an 18 and older set with the blackish colored box with the set imposed on it, and then we do have kind of a hue to highlight the set. The set on the box just looks phenomenal. I love the skinny tires, the printed elements with the L's and then the wheel covers. And of course, Luigi looks stunning. I cannot wait to have this sitting right next to his brother. Next to the actual cart, we have the name of the set, which is kind of small. Lego Mario Kart, Luigi, and Mach 8. Just compared to that, it's a little tiny. What's bigger than the name on the box of the set is the actual Lego logo, making sure you know that this is a Lego set. Also, down here, and larger text than the name of the set, is the Mario Kart logo, representing the theme of this adult Nintendo set. And then, on our green bottom down here, we can see it's indicated for 18 and older, set number 72050 with 2,234 pieces. And guys, this is what you would see when you go into the store and you are shopping for what Lego set to buy. This is exactly what it is. And so with that, let's start looking at our ends of the box. On this end, we have our country of origin and our do not eat it. Also, the set name in different languages. And then, coming over here to this side of the box, we have a nice up-front shot of Luigi, again with our Lego Mario Kart logos. And then, up here at the top of the box, we have our traditional Lego logo, Mario Kart logo, a one-to-one of the printed element for his hat, and then a side profile of Luigi enjoying his Mach 8. And then, lastly, on the bottom of the box, we have all of our Legal Eagles recycling information, Lego.com app information, and our barcode. And then the meat and potatoes part of the box, which is the back. This is the real selling point of the Lego set. We have our Mario Kart Lego logos, another shot of Luigi in his Mach 8. And by the time we get to this photo, we are starting to see a pattern that the arms are posable, the head is movable, so we do have some movement in with the set. We have another angle of the cart, kind of like from the lower nose cone. Then we have a back shot of the cart right here, showing how they style the hair and all the arches and all of that of the set. And then in this last picture right here, we have the dimensions of the set, showing that this set is going to be about 16 inches in length and 10 inches in height. And guys, that is the box experience. Now we get to enjoy the best part, which is finally cutting open a Lego set and building. I have been bored the last few days. I've been coming off of a huge high of getting my car completely all sorted out for my wife to take over, and then I got to do stuff with my car club over the weekend, which we do like once a year, and then I could just go back to work and work a 6 to 3 p.m. shift, and yeah, it's kind of boring. And the number one thing I've been wanting to do now that I'm not doing anything with cars, that's build Lego, guys. I've been chomping at the bit, but there's one big thing about building Lego. I don't get to build any Lego sets until I make a video about them and share the experience with you guys. So as I go over everything, I'm experiencing it at the same time you guys are watching it. So I just don't get to come home from work and be in my one little weird mood and be like, I'm just going to build this and film it later. It doesn't work like that, buddy. You don't get to build this until you film it. And so with that, let's get this box cut open. So we're going to have 2 pieces of tape. So we're going to take our knife, 1 and 2, and we are now open. Let's give you guys that first look inside of the box. And you guys let me know what you guys see. I feel bags. I see bags. Let's get those bags out on the table. Let's get those bags counted out. And there we have, oh, no, whoa. It's always the tires that come out at the end. There we are. So now we have our nice 2,200-ish piece mountain of Lego. I see green pieces. I see reds, blacks, yellows. I see all the colors to make this incredible set. Let's now count these bags out. But what I like to do before I get anything going here is I like to tell you guys a number off the top of my head about how many bags it actually takes to make this set. And I'm going to give the guess of 22 bags. So let's go ahead, let's cut to them all counted out, and let's see if I'm correct at 22 bags. So at the end of the counting, I am holding bag number 22. So I was honestly thinking 21, but for some reason my mind's in this mindset for my job of take the number plus 1, and that's probably the correct number. That's kind of what we do with like inventory, when our inventory is counted one way but it's still off when we actually scan the actual product, is we take the number, which would be like 98, we add 1, 99. Turns out that's correct, even though that's not really what's there, but that's corporate stuff, not my problem. So 22 bags. Then we do have our 4 tires, which look like motorcycle tires. I am not entirely sure if these are new to the set. I will have to look it up if I can remember that, but I'm pretty sure I've seen these before on a motorcycle or something close to it, having this little pattern that you see on the tires. And in addition to our tires, we do have a plastic baggie of our 4 wheels, which look to be unique to the set, and they actually look like they have multiple purposes besides just serving on this set. Looks like you can actually add things to the actual rim and do some Technic builds with these rims, which is pretty cool. I believe I've not seen that yet. But the thing is, I'm a little out of touch because with the way things are these days, Lego is a hobby and not a 100% of my day lifestyle. It's a lot more healthier that way, but you don't know everything anymore. And you know what? I would say it makes it fun again, honestly, guys. But it also makes it a little bit hard to make sure I have my information correct for you guys watching. Our last bag, besides, like I said, with the instructions, is a paper bag, which I believe is a unique windshield piece to this set. So that's the only paper bag we actually have in the entire set. We're all plastic with that. In addition, like I said, we have our book. Let's go ahead. Let's open up this book. Let's see what we have. There we go. So it looks like we're going to have a single book. In addition to the book, there is no sticker, so that makes it a lot nicer. With the book in our hand, it's about the traditional size of a Lego build for adults. So nothing new there. Also, same style with it just being a basic white book with the set on the book. And we do have a QR code for our 20 points. I'm going to assume after this little Lego Builder app information, we're going to have some information on the Mach 8. And we do. So we get a little bit of reading with this set. Looks like we get 2 pages, 4 pages, 6 pages, and then I believe that is it. We can see the set posed next to the standard cart from Mario as well, which is really cool. Kind of sucks they won't be together on the shelf, but at least they'll be in the same shelving unit. It's just one has a case and one does not. We do begin our build on page 11 with, well, obviously bag number 1. So let's now shoot to the back of the book. Let's see how big this build actually is. Our last page of material about the set is on 365, but our last building step is going to be step 778 on page 364. With numbers like that, if you do a page a day, this build will take you an entire year. That would be very, very painful. What's that brand that makes the model cars that's like a subscription, Phantom or something like that? Now is the time that I have been waiting many, many, many days for, and that is to finally rip open a bag of bricks and build something finally and rock and roll with this hobby I have been wanting to build so bad. But I've just been busy, guys, but we're here. And now all I got to do is turn off this camera, get to building, and show you guys the finished product and the set review right here. So here we have our Luigi Kart Mach 8 with Luigi all built. And let's just go ahead and let's get into the meat and taters of the set, details, and things that stick out to me with this set. And let's start off with none other than Luigi. Luigi, right off the rip here, we have a printed element for the L on his head and his 2 eyes, and not to mention his 2 ears. We also have this really cool nose and mustache element, as you guys can see there, and there is one more printed element for his lower lips. Luigi has a very narrow face, which is true to form, unlike his brother, who has a puffier face. More on that in just a moment. Now, with Luigi, his arms are at a nice angle, so a completely different building technique than to last year's Mario Kart, even though the hand building technique is relatively the same. Unfortunately, you can see a little bit of the building process of his body, as you can see there, and his legs are also at a bend. And all this can be easier seen if you just grab him back here like this, give him a yank, and there you go. And we can see him out of the cart. We can see how his legs, none of this is posable. It is pretty much how you see it is. So he is definitely not a standalone character, maybe a sit-alone character, if you wanted him left outside of the cart. Overall, not too bad. He does make up like the last 6 or 7 bags of the build. And with that being said, let's move into the actual build. And here we have the cart. Let's start off with the actual stand of the cart. There we go. Very basic stand. It's just meant to kind of put some angles on it, just like that. And we can tell the difference between this one and the standard cart stand because they did change the elements on each of these to these little small wheels. And it's also indicated by a green and not a yellow 2x4 little round dot piece up here. So that's the stand. Now, let's look at the cart. So one of the big standing out things about the cart that I really love, and let's try to get it from this angle, the wheels are tilted inwards. When I play Mario Kart, I just love that cambered look when I play the game, and I can see it done perfectly with this. There is a really weird building technique out of Technic to make the axles of the set, and I was trying to think of why, and then I remembered maybe they are trying to actually put the camber in this set, and that's exactly the reason why. So that's the first eye-catching detail of this set, is those cambered wheels. The next thing is the printed element of the L right here, and this really cool metallic silver piece right here in the front for the nose. The Mach 8 does look kind of like an airplane without wings, and I think that is captured really well here in Lego. We do have 4 wheel prints, one for each wheel, obviously, and I do believe that these are some sort of motorcycle wheel and tire elements with these awesome covers put onto it. Overall, really nice detail. It's really eye-catching, and it's rather large compared to the standard cart, but I think it's even that way in the game. Another really cool thing about this set is this windshield piece. I love it. I think it looks so cool for this build in particular, and I also like the smoked color that comes with it. Coming into more details about the cart, we can see a little dashboard control panel. Each side is parallel to the other as far as the little dots and the colors. I am not sure if the steering wheel is actually supposed to be upside down, but that's the way it looked in the book, and that's the way I built it. We can see pedals mimicked down here in the floor. They don't move, they don't do anything, they're just there. Overall, the dashboard of this looks rather finished and quite nice. And then the seat portion is done kind of in 3 ways. You have the floor with the mounting plates, as you guys can see here. Then you have the back piece, which does move forward in an interesting way. And then you have this little finishing piece that goes on the back of the engine cover right here. In addition to the engine cover, there is a printed element on each side of the engine cover, and you cannot access, there is no engine, it's all built tight. It is all one unit, but we do have some flames, which indicates that an additional feature in this set besides the steering, which I kind of failed to mention because we all know. Now, I don't feel like there's enough steering angle on this, so feel free to comment down below if I maybe built something wrong, but maybe with the size of the wheels and the camber, it doesn't matter. It's hard to tell, so let me know if yours is as narrow as that, or if you guys did it better than me. I would gladly go back through and verify my work. Back here to the additional feature is going to be these flames. Now, these flames do move when you move the vehicle, and that is done using some simple Technic witchcraft that is all housed in there. It is kind of buried and hidden in between the layers of the build, but it is pretty cool to see that when you move it, we have more than just steering on this particular cart. So they are evolving, they are getting better. There is no stickers in this build. So there's a lot of good positives to the Mach 8 and also the standard cart. But the standard cart, like I said, the biggest feature about it is just the steering. But now, like I said, we're evolving, steering, and the flames. Let's get Luigi back in his seat. Let's take some more glamour shots. But first, let's actually go back underneath the car so you guys can get another look at all of the stuff underneath that goes in to make this car actually what it is. So starting in the front, we can see all the Technic. This cart is built in multiple Technic sections, and those yellow 2x plates, as seen here throughout the body, kind of locks it all in so you can at least get a move onto the building. You guys can see the angles of the Technic components to make those cambered wheels and all of that good stuff. Not a whole lot to really see down here. You see a good mix of system brick and Technic brick. Overall, it looks really nice. So going over a few more little design features before we move this thing along. I love on the engine cover, we have these nice little slopes to make like the louvers of the engine cover. I love the techniques it took to make these nice little, flat pieces for the connection of the wheels. We can also see some lenses, red for like taillights, built into all of the layering. Another really cool thing about this cart is I love how it's kind of like this missile shape. It has like this nice narrow, goes wide, holds it, and then it narrows and tapers back down. I love the shaping of it, and that interesting flat style goes into the front. This time we have amber marker lights, so they're not really headlights. None of these really do have headlights. Just really nice design, really happy with it. You guys can also see how Luigi here holds the steering wheel, how he sits in there. Overall, everything's done really well. Same as last year, they did use a very similar connection point, but I feel like the bricks are lighter this year to make the arms, so it's not a lot of weight on that tiny little connection point, so thus he does hold his arms what feels to be a little bit better than last year. And speaking of last year, as we come around for one more good, glorious look at the cart, let's check out it next to the standard cart with Mario. So let free from his Wicked Bricks limited edition case that for some reason I am really proud of. Again, it is Rainbow Road, so great case, guys. I can't get enough of it. Too bad they're all sold out within the last year. But Mario is looking as great as he did last year. Same thing, no stickers, all prints. Overall, really nice build. My only complaints with this build, if I remember right, was the connection point and such heavy arms, kind of having a hard time holding itself. And also, his head is rather fatter than Luigi's, so thus he does get a little bit of this wobble. But other than that, it's been an outstanding build, and having it posed next to Luigi is just magical. Well, you get a look at the brothers looking so great. I love the stark difference in color. Of course, we got red Mario, green Luigi. That is as old as time with Nintendo. That looks great. But then you just have this whole other scheme where this guy matches his brother. This guy kind of does with the blue to the green. But when you put them in the carts and them together, it just looks great. The other thing I did want to point out is I said that the arms are folded on Luigi, as we can see here with Mario. His arms are straight out to the wheel, and also, because there's not a lot of body on this cart, his legs are straight out to his little pedals. So there was a little bit more building that went into Luigi to make those angles, and I also think that also makes the bricks a little bit different to be able to be held in those joints. And also, like I said, Mario does have a little bit of a thicker face, and Luigi doesn't. Last thing is to check out the stands. There we have the Luigi cart, and here we have the Mario cart. You guys can see the color difference in the dots. That's how you know which one's which. Match the color to the car, obviously. Also, we have a dark bluish gray ring around this, and it's not lifted. It's lifted by one little bit on the newer one. And maybe because of the wheel diameter, we also have a bigger diameter on this part that we did not get on that. Overall, the stands are pretty much the same build, just slightly improved, and I think that's because it's a rather larger cart. And with that, guys, let's come out and wrap up this video. These guys look so great together. I'm really bummed out that I didn't think that there was going to be a sequel to him, and now he gets a case I don't want to do it for him. It's not as special as when I did him, so it's not worth doing for me financially right now. But I'll put them near each other, and hopefully they look as good as how they do out of their cases right here in front of me. Let's wrap up this video. Well, guys, here we are at the end of our first review video as River City Bricks. Super excited to finally get a review video out on this channel. I've been busy, guys. Life has been really, really busy. I know you guys don't want to hear it. You guys want to hear all about the Lego, and I get you. But just know, guys, I am working my hardest to try to get videos out. More on that just a little bit later. It's not for the lack of content. We have the content. It's just we just don't have the time. I am just, yeah, the things that I find that takes my time always surprises me. I may get off at 3 o'clock almost every single day and have time after that, but something always seems to happen. But anyway, guys, back to the final thoughts on the Luigi Kart. Now, this set does cost $180 here, and in comparison, there is the new N1 Starfighter that just came out. That's around $250-ish, and then there is the new Jurassic Park Jeep for around $230. Now, I know both of those sets do have sticker sheets and special licenses to go with them. I will say, I'm pretty sure Nintendo is a special license as well. Now, not really comparing piece count, just looking at it from the sense of vehicles, I am really happy at the $180 price tag in comparison to what those are over there. You don't have any stickers, it's full-on prints. You also have a really nice, strong, interesting build. You may be able to predict where the build is going throughout, but you're constantly kind of surprised by the continuation of innovation from Lego to make these stunning products that look so polished and so nice. Because with Lego, it's about making it look like the product without compromising what it is to be Lego. If they don't have it, they won't try to have it, they won't make it, it'll just look like a brickish simulation of the model. But as I was saying, with the vehicles that we have already this year, this being Mario Kart, then we have Jurassic Park, and then we have Star Wars, if you are on a very tight budget and that $200 mark is kind of like where you're at, and you're trying to figure, do you go with the Luigi, to go with a Mario maybe, or do you go with the spring Star Wars UCS set releases, because those are always in the affordable vein and always super nice and detailed, or do you go with the new Jurassic Park Jeep? I was going to tell you guys, I have not built those other two yet. I want those other two as they are vehicles and part of the spring UCS lineup, and I always buy those. But as of right now at my desk, this is incredible, at the money, and it's under 200 bucks, and to me that's just where it's at. So definitely check this guy out. It is awesome. Now, I do want to update about the Wicked Bricks case, because I keep talking about it throughout this video. There is a Wicked Bricks case where you can put the two of them together, but if you already did buy the limited edition Rainbow Road, you are now discarding a case that is, for one off, and two, very expensive for another case that is very expensive that holds them both. And then next year they may make a third one of Peach or something, and then you continue to have problems. So if you do case your Mario Kart sets, continue to case them independently, and or just stop casing after casing this guy and realizing that they're probably going to continue this for a while. That's what I'm choosing to do as far as my case solutions. I thought it was such a cool idea with this guy, and now I'm just going to leave it here, and as they make more of these, if they do, I'm just not going to worry about it. Now, guys, there's a few updates about the channel for the month. I'm just going to reach over here to my side. So in terms of backlog and video and all of that and Lego reviews, there is still the Lego Spaceman that I believe I got in March 1st-ish. And then there is also from, I think around the same time, the $64 Bugatti. and also the Audi Speed Champions F1 car. Those sets are still pending to be built. I did pick up 3 more, and then something else over here we'll get to in a second. In addition to those, I did pick up, for a short review, the rocking plants. Last year we did the other tiny plants, or what, tiny happy plants or something like that. I love those sets. It was so easy to go and buy another one of these. This set's only 23 bucks. I'll talk more about it in a short, but we did pick that up. I did get lucky, and I did find the Razor Crest poly bag. I was not able to get this from Lego because I did not purchase any Star Wars sets that met the threshold to get this in the criteria, and nor would I do that for a $5 poly bag. I'd rather just buy the poly bag for $5 and skip all those mediocre sets. If you guys like those sets, more power to you. Just knowing what I know about Play Lego nowadays, I just know where it's going, and I know what to expect from those sets, and it's just not worth the clutter unless it's something super, super special. If you do want those sets, keep them new in box, put them aside, and I think that's the best way to actually have Lego play sets nowadays versus building them and displaying them. Just keep them in the box. Anytime I buy a play set that's Star Wars and it's not super cool, that's what I'm going to be doing. But anyway, I got that Razor Crest poly bag, super excited. I think I found that at Barnes & Noble. And I also picked up the F1 Academy Lego race car because I just collect all these F1 cars, even if they are mediocre. It's a thing. Might as well keep it going, especially when it's under 30 bucks. These are $27.99. Like I said, $22.99, $5. But what is not under 30 bucks is not these, because those obviously are, is what I got over here. Now, I will save GWPs for the actual video, but I did purchase, for our next review video, because it's very important to get these out, I did get the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter. I love spring UCS sets. I loved the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter in Season 3. I thought it was a really cool idea. I am kind of sad to already see it switch back to the Razor Crest for the movie, but I get it. We all love the Razor Crest far more, and so to bring it back for the big screen would be ideal, and that's what they did. But for Lego, I had to pick this up. Now, I will tell you, and I'll say it in my other video, how much, but I did use my points to buy this because, yeah, we'll talk about it in that video. So make sure you guys are subscribed to watch all of the videos. So lots of content, shorts and full-length videos when I have time to film. This video alone took almost a week to get done with all of the clutter in my life. So make sure you guys are subscribed if you guys enjoy the review videos and Lego and toy content in general. As usual, guys, share the video with a friend, hit the like button. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. And of course, drop comments down below. I love to interact with you guys. And on that one, I've got to get this guy back on Rainbow Road in his Wicked Bricks case. This guy posed next to it, and I got to get filming that N1 Starfighter. I am so stoked for that. It is kind of weird that all of the Lego sets from Star Wars this year is like 90% Mandalorian, so that better be a hell of a movie on the 22nd. Tell me what y'all think. Should it be a hell of a movie for how hard Lego's promoting it this year? We'll see you on the next video. You all have a good one.